Welcome back to another edition of Avid Golfer Magazine's Fearless Fantasy Forecast. It's major week. PGA Championship, Kiawah Island, longest major course in history.
So, I did a little research.
Nice.
And do you realize the last 4 majors, we have won money.
Hey now.
And we have picked the winner. I like that. I would give you a little props for a year ago. You had Colin Morikawa on both of your teams.
I did.
And I had Dustin Johnson on both mine, the Masters. And so keep your ears listening.
Or looking.
Because somewhere on our teams, we got the winner.
Now, do we have the rest? The strength of field is 916, the second highest ever in a major. 2016 was the year Jimmy Walker won the PGA Championship.
Huh.
923.
I wonder what he cost that week.
A lot less.
Yep.
Yeah. In fact, he might have been the lowest guy to win a major for a while. That was that kind of strength of field and all that kind of good stuff. All right. So we picked 3 teams this week because it is a major. I have 4 guys on 2 teams. I don't have anybody on all 3.
I spread it all out.
So did I.
I only have 2 guys on 2 teams.
Wow.
And everything else I spread out because here's the thing. I'm going to say this may be the most wide open major. I looked at the guys I didn't take and just so Dustin Johnson's not playing well.
No.
And
I did not take him either.
Jon Rahm has not played great since he had his baby.
Didn't take him either.
Brooks Koepka could not putt.
Well, he can't read a green. He can't crouch.
Whatever it was, but before that, I mean, his ball striking was fine, but his putting looked so bad last week.
Agreed.
I'm sure you probably have him on a team, but I'm looking at Will Zalatoris and saying, this is a lot for a 22-year-old kid. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering, can he really
he did well at the Masters.
Pull it out? But another one, so I didn't take him either. And the only guy who scares me because I just don't know. I didn't love the way he looked last week. I didn't take Bryson DeChambeau. Well, you're talking about 5 of the top 9 price-wise guys that they were easy to overlook. I think this is wide open.
So do I, and the prices were fairly low this time. A lot of value this week. I did not take DJ Rahm. Didn't take Xander. Didn't take Morikawa. Didn't take DeChambeau. Didn't take JT. Didn't take Patrick Cantlay. He's missed 3 straight cuts. He's a mess. Didn't take Tony Finau. He's not been playing well.
So he's missed 4 cuts.
Yes. So I didn't take those. Are the guys.
And I wanted to take him. You talk about if the wind blows out there, that short compact swing would make all the sense in the world, right? Mm-hmm. But he ain't coming in hot.
I know.
So I took him. But almost all the guys you just mentioned, somewhere on my teams I have them.
Okay.
So.
All right. I took 4 guys on 2 teams. Took Sam Burns. Cheap. It's like 7,500. And he's got a first and a second, a strokes gained approach. He's 12 and a half strokes in the last 3 weeks. He's playing really well. Took Abraham Answer. He plays well on tough tracks. And he's fairly low.
I just don't. I looked at him, but I'm wondering if he's long enough.
Well, he's 4th strokes gained tee to green last 24 rounds.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
That's not playing 7,800-yard golf courses.
Took Cameron Smith. All that guy does is finish high. Worst finish is 17th in the last 4 events. He does well in majors. And here's a guy I kind of wavered on. I took Paul Casey. He's kind of under the radar. Been playing really well. Hasn't won except for over in Europe. But I like his game. I like his strength from tee to green. He's a pretty good iron player. So that's why I have 4.
Okay. I don't have anybody on. The only guys I have on 2 teams, I have Daniel Berger on 2 teams. He's got 5 top 10s in his last 8 events, and he's a low ball hitter. He's playing quietly well. He snuck into a tie for 3rd in the Nelson last week. And then I've got Charles Schwartz on 2 teams. He's made his last 6 cuts.
Yep.
And he finished 3rd at the Nelson, and he's under $7,000.
And he's got the craziest looking putter I've ever seen in my life.
He does too. So those are the only 2 guys. And then, so I'm going to go through a couple guys I took on the first team, and we'll keep going. But I took Emiliano Grillo. He missed a cut at Wells, and besides that, I'm sorry, he had a 14th. He had a bounce, but he missed the Valspar. But he came back making a 14th at the Wells. He's just hitting it great.
Mm-hmm.
And if he can find his putter, he had one misstep. Joaquin Neiman has 15 of 15 in cuts made this year.
Yeah.
He is playing so good. He's the way he's played in his last two events too just seems like he's on that right trend.
Mm-hmm.
I took Xander.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a major killer.
Yeah, he's good. Just doesn't win one.
Yeah, so I figure he'll be somewhere up
He'll
there.
be top 10.
And then I took Jordan Spieth.
Uh-huh.
Do you realize since the Waste Management, he's got 6 top 10s,
Mm-hmm. Out of eight
he's only
attempts.
got one event worse than 15th.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got him. I only took him on one team. He's expensive. It was tough. So yeah.
Okay, one team. I have, by the way, the other guy, I had him on 2 teams. Keegan Bradley, 7,300. And he hasn't missed a cut since January. 16th in strokes gained approach was important this week. 3rd strokes gained around the green. So he's a good scrambler. Not too shabby. But my first team, I took Rory. I never take Rory.
It might be the first time ever, right?
Yeah, I took him. He's the most expensive. He won the PGA back in 2012. Seems to be in good form. Maybe that win at Wells Fargo kind of jump-started him a little bit.
By the way, did you do a little bit more research? Did you see how he did at the Wells the year he won the PGA out there?
Did he do well? Did he win
Came
that
in
too?
second.
Okay. So he does well on courses he normally plays well.
Yeah.
Good job. I have Cameron Smith. I took Will Zalatoris. I got to stay with him, man. He's long, great iron play. That's going to be a long course. He's not afraid anymore. He came in 3rd at the second in the Masters. I mean, I like it. Took Charles Schwartzel for your reasons. 6 straight cuts. He's improved each week.
Yes, he has too. That's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, he's 3rd at the Nelson. Took Ryan Palmer. Has not missed a cut this year. He was only 6,900, and he's got good length to handle that course. And then I went with the recent winner, K.H. Lee. Just got added. Loved his game at the Nelson. He's long. He's sneaky long. And he looked like he was putting pretty well, so I rounded him out on my first team.
Okay. All right, so let me give you mine. I've got Berger and Schwartz are on this team. Then I went with the Aussies. So you went with Cam Smith, and I did too on a couple teams. But I went with him. I mean, last time he played, he won the Zurich with Mark Leishman. And he's just been playing great. I also took Mark Leishman. Talk about a low ball hitter who can move the ball really, really well. Doesn't this set up perfect?
You know why I didn't take him? Because last week he looked horrible around the greens. Couldn't chip
still
worth
finished 20th.
Yeah, but he looked weird.
So we'll see.
Yeah, it scared me.
Then I took Justin Thomas. I had to find him on one team. You know, he bounced back and won the Players, and I just think he's primed for another major. This is a PGA Championship's kind of near and dear to his heart. He's got his one major there, and so I had to have him on one team somewhere.
Yeah, he just can't putt.
And then my 6th guy on this team I didn't write down, so I'll have to put that down in the comments. But my last team, and I love this team, and it's an interesting dynamic of this team. I took 3 horses. I took Rory. For the same reasons. He won the Wells, in 2012 he won here, and he came in second at the Wells right before. I took Collin Morikawa. Okay, so he's defending champ, and it's tough to take a defending champ.
Right.
There were 13 people higher than him in price.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, you know what? His ball striking he's still first in strokes gained approach, and he's second in strokes gained tee to green.
All right.
So he makes sense. I took Victor Hovland. For the same type of reasons. He's like right behind Collin Morikawa, and he's got back-to-back thirds.
Yep.
He's tops in adjusted scoring. I have to be candid with you. I don't know what that means, but he's tops in it. So I'm looking at it, tops in adjusted scoring. Okay, that's pretty good. And both of his both victories are on the same grass as is on the greens on this course.
Post-Palm?
Something like that. Don't ask me to pronounce it. So when you have 3 horses like Morikawa, Hovland, and Rory, you got to go cheap. Now, I'm only looking for these next 3 guys to make the cut.
Okay.
Because if they do, boom, you get it. And understand this. People don't make the cut. K.H. Lee last week, only 6% of the people had him, and he won. Sam Burns, only 8% had him, and he came in second. So you can find, little diamonds in the rough, but you got to if you're gonna go heavy. I took Alex Noren. He made his last 4 cuts. He looked good early at the Nelson. Kind of blew up once the weather got bad. So if the weather stays good down in there, I think I'm okay with him. I took Joel Dahman. He hasn't missed a cut since he won a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And I'm watching him. He's got moxie. I'm not sure he's got game, but he's got moxie. And I just feel like, your win, you got a 2-year exemption, you're in all the majors. I think he's going to be fine, and I think he's going to have a little bit more confidence. And then I needed somebody at $6,200 if I had this team, and it's hard. But my little go-to guy, Denny McCarthy, was $6,200.
Yeah, he's not played well.
And get this. Do you know he missed a cut at the Wells? And before that, he had 6 straight cuts made. And do you know he's got 3 top 10s already this year?
I wouldn't know it.
You wouldn't know it.
No,
so
it must be all backdoors.
Sneaky. Who cares? All I need for him to do is make the cut, and I'm feeling really, really good about that team.
All right. Second team. Got Answer, Bradley, Sam Burns, Paul Casey, Victor Hovland, and Jordan. This is his 6th attempt at a Grand Slam. But the way he used to be, as messed up as he was mentally and everything, he looks really dialed in.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's great.
He looked like he couldn't wait to get out of the Nelson, though. I mean, he was on the 18th fairway when everything went crazy because, man, I wish I could just get out of here. So that's one team. Then the other team, I have Smith, Abraham, Burns, Bradley, Casey, and I took Daniel Berger, a third and a 13th last 2 weeks. And this is one of the few times we don't have a consensus, really, anything.
No, I will tell you, I do have a dark horse
Okay.
of all this. And I wish I could have put him on every team, but he was more expensive than I expected him to be. But Joaquin Neiman, here's a guy who's major worthy.
Yeah.
He's made 15 of 15 cuts. He's played well. I wouldn't pick him to win because it's wide open. I don't think you can pick anybody to win right now. I think giving a stone cold lock this week would be irresponsible.
Yeah.
I like a lot of guys, but
for
it's
you.
irresponsible. But I like Neiman as my dark horse because I just think he's playing so well, and he's good. He's probably the biggest lock to make a cut, and then you never know.
Nope. Never know in this game, that's
Yep.
for sure. So there you go. There's our Fearless Fantasy Forecast, the PGA Championship edition. Should be fun. Starts Thursday. Be sure to subscribe to our Avid Golfer YouTube page. And enjoy the major because we will, and one of us, maybe both of us, will come back with some green.